Good evening, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen around the world. It is time for the Backstage Slam, your Saturday night wrestling podcast, right here, BackstageSlam.com, CMcCorePods.com, or wherever you get your favorite podcasts. I am Josh, joined by the ever-present Anna. Anna, how you doing?
I'm doing okay, I guess.
Doing okay, you guess.
Well, it's hot as shit, even though it's raining.
Yeah, I looked at tomorrow's forecast for my neighborhood, and 99. That's what I have to look forward to. 99 degrees.
Well,
plus humidity, of course.
Oh, yeah. It's humid as hell here because of the rain. And I'm just like, are you kidding me? It's supposed to cool down with rain.
Yeah, that's not always the case. Because things just get muggy, and you find yourself moist in places you didn't think could produce moisture.
Yes, absolutely.
But this isn't the weather podcast. This is the Backstage Slam wrestling podcast. And not only is this the Backstage Slam wrestling podcast, this is the 200th episode of the Backstage Slam.
What? Can you hear me? Okay, I don't know what you want me to talk about, though.
Okay.
Way to put me on the spot, Josh.
Everything's functioning once again. I guess you could have said something like, yeah, it's the 200th episode. How about that? Jeepers Creepers. That's pretty cool.
Catch me off guard again, then. Jeez, Josh.
Gotta think on your feet. Think on your feet. We're calling it in the ring. You know, wrestling stuff. But yes, it's the 200th episode, and wow, it's been quite the run. Last week I did a brief history of the show. Did a little background, little backstage talk for the Backstage Slam, and I hope everybody found it interesting, but now, it's moving forward. Let's figure out what the next 200 episodes are going to sound like. I think that's the important thing here. Well, we celebrate a milestone to celebrate the accomplishment, but to also think about the future. But right now, I think I'd rather talk about some headlines. We mentioned this one before we went on the air. I want to send out a congratulations to Mr. Keith Lee, who on Wednesday, defeated Adam Cole to become the NXT World Champion / North American Champion. That's right, old Keith Two Belts is rocking at the top of the NXT ladder. Anna, what do you think about Keith Lee winning?
That made me so happy. I think it's the only match that made me happy.
Do you think Keith Lee should be NXT World Champion and Smooth Operator should be North American Champion?
Oh,
nothing. It's another callback to the WWE film on Netflix, Main Event, about the kid that becomes a wrestler.
I think I've heard of that, but I don't have my Netflix. But I haven't had Netflix in a while, so I haven't seen it.
Keith Lee actually has a pretty big role And I can imagine it was made much longer after he was signed. So they kind of, from the jump, it seems, put him in a pretty, pretty spotlight position. Especially doing the, the movie thing.
Well, I mean, Keith Lee deserves it because he shouldn't be able to do half of what he does. Dude's amazing, and I just don't like Adam Cole.
Oh, and Otis is in the movie.
My Otis?
Yeah, he's in the movie.
Wow.
Main event. So, very surprising that you're not already on top of that. But Keith Lee played a kind of a best friend mentor role to the kid, and he went by the name Smooth Operator.
Gotcha.
So that's what I'm really calling back to.
If my Netflix was on, I'd have watched it, but my Netflix ain't on.
Well, you got to get that back. And that way, when you listen to the Netflix every Monday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, you know exactly what to watch. See? Shameless plug. Bang, bang.
I see that.
But congratulations to Keith Lee. If there was ever a guy that deserved to be old Keith Two Belts, it's him. Because it would really be weird if, say, Tommaso Ciampa was Keith Two Belts. It wouldn't fit.
It would be hilarious, but no, it would not fit.
Tommaso Ciampa's like, call me Keith Two Belts. And for some reason, I don't think people would think it's weird. It's like, oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Speaking of championships, if you have been watching AEW, then you know that Taz, that Taz, has brought back the FTW Championship. Are you familiar with FTW, Anna?
No, I don't think I am.
Well, FTW, back in the day, was Taz's favorite thing. I guess you could say, F the world.
I was thinking that.
So yeah, he brought back that championship, and Brian Cage has it.
Oh, well, that worked, didn't it?
So on Tuesday's edition of AEW Dark, Brian Cage will be defending the FTW Championship against Brian Pillman Jr.
Why do I know that name?
You might know his dad, Flying Brian Pillman.
That could be. I'm sorry, it's so hot. I think my brain's melted.
No, you might remember Brian Pillman from back when with old Stone Cold.
That would be it, yes.
Remember the whole gun angle?
Yeah.
So Brian Pillman Jr. getting a title shot. So the interesting thing here is not only is the FTW Championship, here it's back, but it's also in sanctioned matches. Is this officially a part of the stable of titles? What do you think?
I guess if they want it to be, why not?
Fair enough.
I mean, they're obviously making it legitimate by
having him defend it?
Yeah.
On television?
Yeah. I mean, it seems a little more legitimate than, say, WWE's 24/7 title.
Yeah, it's funny because, it has yet to be defended and it's already got more legitimacy. That's pretty good. Speaking of legitimate champions, maybe you've heard of this guy. It's goes by the name of Enzo.
Enzo Amore?
No, just Enzo. Enzo.
Is he back somewhere?
Enzo. He's hitting the indie circuit.
That's cool.
And he's taking his WWE Cruiserweight Championship with him.
Can he do that?
See, that's the thing.
It doesn't seem like he should be able to do that. Nothing against Enzo. Like, I loved him and Cass together, and then I caught a video of, like, his inner city I hate that word. You know what I mean. His work with inner city kids. Anyway. So I love him even more as a person. I still don't think he should really be able to take that with him. It just doesn't seem right.
Yeah, apparently nobody ever actually went to get it back from him when he was released, because he was champion when they let him go.
That's weird.
And now he announced that he'll be, let's see, touring the indie wrestling scene with a cruiserweight title belt that is still in his possession from his WWE run. So he's going to be calling himself, I guess, the Cruiserweight Champion.
Haven't we had Cruiserweight Champions since he left, though?
Oh, yeah, several.
That's what I thought.
I guess he only considers them interim champions.
Oh, okay. Sure.
If you're interested in Enzo, he'll be teaming with Brian Pillman Jr. to face Ricky Morton and his son Kerry at a KFW event in Sevierville, Tennessee on Friday. That was yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. Or is it next Friday? It doesn't give a date. It just says Friday, and the article I'm reading is from yesterday afternoon, so...
So I take it AEW doesn't have the, oh my god, you can't perform in the indies like WWE has with their contract?
No. You know, they have their, of course, non-compete stuff. Like, they don't expect you to show up on WWE television or things like that. But as you saw with guys like Jon Moxley, who pulled double duty with AEW and New Japan, they're not afraid to have their talent appear elsewhere.
I mean, that's pretty cool, because, I mean, if they don't have anything going for them for a couple of weeks, they can hit up, you know, is OVW still a thing?
Yeah, I think Al Snow is a big part of that.
But they can hit up, you know, the different circuits here or Japan or wherever.
Yeah, I think AEW's philosophy is more along the lines of, you know, get your money, because they're not doing house shows, and you have a lot of days in the week.
Yeah. Unlike WWE is like, oh, sorry, you're not going to work for 3 weeks, but we're not going to pay you either. Or like some don't appear on TV for 6 months before they're released. What?
Well, most of the time they're utilized in some capacity, whether it's, you know, main event or house shows or just personal appearances. You know, they're working in a way. They're just not publicly utilized on the TV shows.
Yeah. Watching what I've been watching on the network, it's like, oh, okay, so what happened to them? Oh, they didn't appear on TV for 6 months before they were released. Got it. But it doesn't mention, like, in Wikipedia, anything that they might have been doing otherwise.
Yeah, for some reason, even though it would be a pretty good way to, in my opinion, you know, draw some revenue for the networks, you know, just have a couple of camera guys at the house shows. Make them count for something.
Yeah. I mean, I actually prefer house shows. They're a lot more fun than watching it. What TV is kind of blah compared to a house show.
Yeah, everyone gets to kind of let loose, let their hair down. I've seen Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit getting butt slapping contests with each other.
Okay.
Eddie Guerrero is, I mean, if you think he's something to see on television when the cameras aren't rolling, it's like a whole new level. God, I miss that man.
Good thing? Are we talking like Eddie Guerrero to the nth degree?
Yeah, we're talking full Eddie.
Oh my god. I thought he was kind of over the top on TV sometimes.
But yeah.
Have you seen the New Day in person?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're something else.
I'd like to see them again, if I'm being perfectly honest. The last show that I went to was an NXT event at the Armory here, and what was it? Gosh, I think it was Roderick Strong.
Oh my god!
And I didn't know the card beforehand, but then Pete Dunne came out for the match, and I'm like, oh my god! Started marking out like a little fanboy. It was the best.
You mean the other Broserweight?
What's that?
The other Broserweight dude?
Yeah, the Bruiserweight.
Is he coming back, by the way?
I imagine so.
Okay.
I haven't heard anything otherwise.
Think about him.
Pete Dunne is, when watching the, his debut, he was the only one that absolutely floored me. He was the only one that had any type of personality. It took a little while for the others to, sort of, break through with NXT UK, and they did. I love me some Mustache Mountain. Don't get me wrong, but Pete Dunne was by far the standout. And I was very glad when he got not only a title run, but a very, very lengthy title run.
I mean, I've only seen him with, what's his name in the Broserweight?
Matt Riddle?
The bro. Yeah, that guy. And I think I picked up NXT right after they got put together for the Dusty Cup. So I got to see that whole stretch and the whole, journey with the Dusty Cup. But yeah, I don't really know much about him outside of that.
Yeah, if you get a chance, check out NXT UK, and I think you'll be very pleased. Because it's got some, like, classic hard-hitting wrestling. Let's see.
So are they...
Go ahead.
Are they more aggressive on UK than they are? Because all I've really seen of UK is when they were on that one takeover in, I don't know, February or March, I think it was.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's definitely more of a brawler / technician style, not as much high flying. So that's why you got guys like Walter, just crushing.
Scary ass dude.
Yeah, he is. Amazing to watch. And you don't really get that with a lot of stone-faced big guys, right?
No, not really.
Braun Strowman got very... No, I don't want to say got lucky, but he was very fortunate to be able to bring a personality with as little as he was given to work with.
Yeah, I love Braun.
And I still say his title run came about 2 years too late. This should not be his first run.
No. I mean, I, again, was out of it for a while because I didn't really have anyone I enjoyed watching it with, but...
Finally, on the news...
Sorry.
The New Japan Cup is over. And a winner has been crowned. Start acting like you're interested.
I didn't know it was going on, so tell me about it, Josh.
Okay, the New Japan Cup is, a tournament in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and, it's a company known for its amazing tournaments, whether it's the Super Juniors or just New Japan's the place to watch the best tournaments. And this year was no exception. It was definitely, worth a watch. And the finals came down to Kazuchika Okada versus Evil. Yes, Evil. And the winner of the New Japan Cup was Evil. Now, if you saw this guy with his costuming and like his scythe and everything, you'd probably dig it, because he looks like a messed up Grim Reaper dude. But to me, surprised, because the winner of the tournament gets to face Tetsuya Naito for the IWGP Heavyweight and Intercontinental Championship at Dominion. So it almost seemed to me, pretty natural that we would get another Okada Naito matchup for, the belts. Old Naito 2 belts there. And that's not the case. Evil won the tournament. And if that wasn't crazy enough, right? At the end of the show, the Bullet Club comes down. It's like, the Bullet Club? What are they doing down here, there's a lot of backstory there. If Ben was here, he would be able to, lay it all out perfectly. So I'm just going to just sum things up with Evil joined the Bullet Club.
Wait, what? Huh?
Yes, Evil joined the Bullet Club. The newest member of the Bullet Club is Evil. Wow. Did not see that coming.
That's interesting.
I assume you're aware of the Bullet Club and their activities and whatnot? If only in passing?
In passing, sort of, yeah.
Had members like Prince Devitt, who is Finn Balor, AJ Styles, Gallows and Anderson.
Oh.
Just a lot of... WWE's picked up a lot of former Bullet Club members. And AEW, they have Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. Cody, all former members of the Bullet Club. The Bullet Club has, in my opinion, been more prolific than the NWO, because membership, a lot of people have passed through, but they keep the membership number is relatively low. So you're not going to see 40 people wearing Bullet Club shirts. It almost seems like someone comes in, someone goes out. They just it's not a matter of building up numbers as much as maintaining. And I don't know if there is an official cap, but yeah, it's big news for Evil to join Bullet Club, especially at the very last thing in the New Japan Cup, with Dominion coming up, and Evil now being backed by Bullet Club against Naito and his Los Ingobernables de Japón. It's something funny.
No, nothing.
Are you not an LIJ fan?
I didn't say anything.
Yeah, Ben's a really, really big LIJ fan and a huge Naito mark. And what can I say? He's not wrong for his love of this man. Naito is amazing. So that all of that happened this week. Some of it happened today. So see, I can curate some news. I can do that. It only took me 200 episodes to figure out how, but I did it.
And you're doing such a great job at it.
Let's see, when is Extreme Rules?
Next week.
Is it next week?
I think it's the 18th.
Let's see. Sunday, July 19th. Okay. So episode 201 will be the Extreme Rules predictions.
I don't even know the matches. I'm
well,
so bad.
I can, I want to bring up what's been announced so far. If you bear with me a second. Why don't you tell everybody about your wonderful Twitter account?
Catwoman13618.
And the stuff you tweet about.
I have to get back into using Twitter. I basically just go and see what wrestlers are up to, and that's about it.
All right, good talk. Next week is going to be the Extreme Rules prediction show, which is branded the Horror Show at Extreme Rules, live Sunday, July 19th on the WWE Network. Start time is 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific. And it is described as following an upcoming professional wrestling pay-per-view and WWE Network event, blah, blah, blah. Just skip straight to the matches. Okay, so far, 6 matches have been announced, with 1 stipulation still needing to be announced. For those of you, of course, unaware of what Extreme Rules is, it is the one night of year where everybody gets extreme. And it has roots in the one-night stand pay-per-views. If you recall the revival of ECW and the Nowheresville, it went so fast. So there was one-night stand pay-per-views. And that changed to Extreme Rules. I was actually able to go to Extreme Rules here several years ago. Saw the Hardy Boys in a ladder match live. And
Damn.
It was one of those things where you're like, yeah. But if I'm not mistaken, it also main evented John Cena and the Great Khali. So, you take the good, you take the bad. You take them both, and there you have a WWE pay-per-view.
True. But I like Khali.
Oh, yeah. As he was in the company longer, he became sort of likable as a character, but
Yeah.
as someone to watch in the ring, not so much. I loved the Kali kiss cam. So starting at the bottom, we'll go with Apollo Crews defending the United States Championship against MVP.
Okay.
I'm on Wikipedia right here. I don't see that happening, personally, because I keep getting caught up in the whole, it's MVP in a match?
Yeah, he's gonna have what's his name take his place, probably.
Lashley?
Yes. And then I can sit and chant for Lana to come out and screw it up again.
Would not be surprised. I'm still waiting for Rusev to come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's still my prediction.
I love Rusev. I love Rusev and Lana.
What's not to love? Rusev's like a big teddy bear, and Lana's like, Lana. But like CJ, not Lana.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. Seeing him on Divas, it was a whole different side of Rusev and Lana, and I'm just like, oh my god, I liked him before, but now I like him a lot more.
And Rusev is one of those talents that can take anything he's given and make the fans believers in him.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, if you do that without the permission of the company, it seems like, no, I'm not a WWE employee. I've never have been a WWE employee, so this is all pure speculation on my part. Based on observation over the years, it seems like Rusev became one of those guys where they're like, okay, we're going to saddle you with a crap gimmick, and you're going to take it until we're ready to push you. And then he gets the crap gimmick, and next thing you know, he gets it over, and people love him more. So they're like, we got to stop that. Okay. We're going to give him a different crap gimmick, and he's going to know his place in this company. And then he takes that gimmick, gets it over, and people love him even more. Until eventually they're like, no, we have to take him off TV. He's getting too popular, pal. And they do, which makes him want to, not work there anymore. Why can't we just listen to who the people are cheering? What happened to those days? Those days where people would get over on their own without, being told by the company. And yeah. I might be looking at things through rose-colored glasses, but we've talked about this at length on this show, as far as the company listening to the fans, and it seems like they stopped doing that a long time ago. They heard the reactions to Austin, so they turned them. They heard the reactions to The Rock, so they turned them, and they became the biggest stars ever. And it seems like when John Cena came along and the fans turned him, because that's what happened. The fans turned John Cena. That was the last time the company was like, well, I guess we're done listening to people now. We have John Cena. And then, he's cheered and booed and all this because, quite frankly, he does have a Superman gimmick. It's I don't think it's arguable. And for a decade, he was virtually unbeatable in a way. And then he came back, started, helping some guys out, put him over. If not losing, but definitely showing some some weakness, letting some, guys get in some pretty good offense, and selling. That's the key word I'm looking for. But Roman comes along, and the Shield's popular. Everyone's like, yeah, the Shield. Roman's going to be a big star. Blah 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 blah. And then they break up.
Yeah.
And it's like nobody wanted that. And everybody hated Seth like they're supposed to. People still liked Dean like, they're supposed to. But Roman caught a lot of anger because, in my opinion, he never changed. He didn't become anything new. Everybody else moved on, but it's still like he was holding a torch for the Shield by wearing the same uniform, coming out to the same music. It seems like he never moved on and, found his own identity. And that's why, when the Shield got back together there, everyone was like, okay, we can dig this now. But until then, hearing things like Roman Reigns is going to main event the next 3 WrestleManias. And he did.
Yeah.
It seemed like a bit much. While at the same time, through no fault of Roman, who was just, of course, showing up, doing his job, and collecting his check, Daniel Bryan organically gets over with everybody by putting on great matches and just being, interesting. Roman Reigns, he's not an underdog in any situation. He fought cancer and was... Nobody was like, oh, Roman's going to be down for the count. And it's like, nope. Roman's going to be back. Why? Because he's going to beat cancer. He's beat everything else. And, okay, that might be a bit of an insensitive thing to say, and I'm sorry, but I know I didn't have a doubt that Roman would be okay. Because
I didn't really doubt it either. So you're not alone in that.
He seems like a great guy.
He's super sweet.
But he also seems like, he just has that look. And I keep using this phrase. He looks like he's the guy that's going to walk into the room and steal your girl.
He could. He's very soft-spoken. He's very gentle.
So if they would just let him be, suave, cool, and a little egotistical against the fans, but make him the heel.
He's not. I mean, I'm sure he could play suave and cool, but he's not suave or egotistical. I mean, I walked into a photo op and I was like, not realizing, okay, he looks big on TV, he's massively huge in person.
The thing is, he's not. 5'4". He doesn't come off as the big dog, right? The champion of the people.
I think that from his nice nature, though, because I walked in and I was like, "Can I hug you?" Because obviously you always ask. And he was like, well, sure you can. And just, wrapped his arms around me in, the most gentlest way possible. So, yes, he absolutely could walk into the room and steal your girl just by being himself.
It would have been nice to see a little bit more of himself.
Yeah.
During that time.
I think, honestly, you know how Daniel Bryan had, the Make-A-Wish thing going... I think him and Daniel Bryan could have had him and Daniel Bryan could have had a good thing going with Make-A-Wish kids, at ringside. I think he would be great at that.
I think, and I'm pretty sure I'm not alone in this, I think Roman would have been a lot better off having people have a reason to boo him, and then have those boos organically turn to cheers, as he becomes another badass in the WWE pantheon of badasses. Instead, we got Suffering Succotash. Now, I don't dislike Roman at all.
Honestly, I think that's more true to Roman than like, I didn't get any like asshole vibes. He just seems like a genuinely nice, sweet person. And I kind of think it might be hard for him to play a bad guy because he's so nice.
He wouldn't really have to do much. Just show up, beat people up. He wouldn't have to change anything. Just keep doing what he's doing, except do it against the good guys. You don't claim ownership of the ring, especially against Undertaker, and expect to be loved.
This is true.
But anyway, this is a topic that we actually started the show about. Episode 1. This is how far the topic goes and how long it's been a thing. I don't even remember. Oh, we were talking about Extreme Rules. That's right. So Apollo Crews versus MVP. We're not doing predictions now, just for the United States Championship. Also on the card, Rey Mysterio versus Seth Rollins in an eye for an eye match. It says, to win, one must gouge out the eye of their opponent.
Ow!
What
I
the
thought
hell?
Rey retired.
What's that?
I thought Rey Mysterio retired.
Retirement doesn't mean anything in this business.
Well, I thought he had like a legit on TV retirement or whatever.
Again, retirement means nothing in this business.
Okay, well, where is this sudden dispute that's led to eye gouging come from?
If I'm going to be completely honest here, I have no idea.
Okay.
I've been kind of avoiding the main roster for a while now.
That seems really random, and seriously, eye gouging?
Let's see.
Okay.
I don't really see anything about that here. Talk more about eye gouging and its history in pro wrestling.
Pretty sure it's not allowed.
Might be against the rules, you say? Well, Extreme Rules, there are no rules.
Well, I understand that, but, I mean, it just seems like that could be like a 5-second match. I mean, think about it. Ray comes down to the ring, manages to hit him with a 619, knocks him down, gouges his eyes out, it's over. Or Cody's gouges his eyes out. It just doesn't seem like it's going to have the substance that it should have. I could be wrong. Ray's amazing. And Seth's good. Not knocking his ability. Not keen on most of his characters most of the time, but I just don't understand why this is a match.
I don't even see it on the WWE website, to be honest.
Oh, well, that's helpful.
I was kind of hoping there would be some sort of explanation. What's it called?
An eye for an
versus eye match? Eye for an eye match.
Eye for an eye match.
Eye for an eye match.
Yeah.
Okay, Seth Rollins eye for an eye match. details about how the stipulation will play out have been kept under wraps. WWE has said a competitor must pull out his opponent's eyeball to secure the victory.
What?
According to Uncle Dave, this will be a cinematic style match, and they're going to add CGI effects.
Oh, well, that's exciting.
Mysterio is currently working without a contract.
Well, I'm just curious if Seth just decided to call out Ray and just start some BS feud for shits and giggles. Like, it's very random.
I've been kind of avoiding the main roster. I know I'm a bad host, but have you seen it lately? It's been tough. It's been really tough. We'll just move on, because also on the show is Braun Strowman versus Bray Wyatt in a swamp fight.
I'm guessing it's going to be another cinematic thing.
Yes, it's going to be a cinematic match, non-title. So,
oh well, that's good.
This is it's not Firefly Funhouse Bray Wyatt. It's
the Fiend.
Bray Wyatt.
So he's back to being the Wyatt family, Bray Wyatt.
Yes, Wyatt family Wyatt.
Gotcha. But at least Braun can't lose his title, so I'm happy about that.
After a week of soul-searching, Strowman responded adamantly and promised to drag Wyatt into the swamp to let the alligators finish the job.
Nice.
They're talking straight-up murder now.
Well, I mean, it's not too far-fetched. They did find human bones at the Tiger King's zoo in the alligator swamp.
Well, and I was thinking, weren't a couple of people thrown off of a roof at TLC?
Yeah.
Or Money in the Bank?
Yeah.
And it wasn't until the next night it wasn't until the next night Ray was like, it was a miracle that we only fell like 8 feet because of the other part of the building. Think, oh, yeah.
I've seen somebody comment, oh my god, a 6-foot fall could kill Rey Mysterio, and I'm like, Jesus, you guys are freaking bad. But yes, it's not the first time they have tiptoed around murder.
Let's see, and in a move that apparently is for the sole purpose of giving me hives.
I know what one you're talking about. I got the list up on Wikipedia.
Man, didn't they hear what I said last time? Of course they heard what I said last time. That's why they did it. You know what's happening, Anna. They're spiting me. The WWE's spiting me with this booking, and then next week I'm gonna have to choose, and it's not gonna be nice, and I hate it.
Just remember, it's the Bailey we don't like.
There's no such thing as a Bailey I don't like.
Oh, I was gonna say it's not huggy friendly Bailey.
Bailey is defending the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship against Nikki Cross. Man.
How did that come to be? I missed something there.
If I'm not mistaken, it was finalized on SmackDown. On the June 19th predictions leading to a cross between the following, Cross won a fatal 4-way to earn a SmackDown Women's Championship against Bailey. Yeah, she won the fatal 4-way.
Oh, who was in the 4-way?
People. women
I would like to
specifically.
see Nikki with the.
Yeah, I'd love to see Nikki get a chance to shine. She as a star, her star rose so fast in NXT, not because of her faction, but in spite of it almost.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, they were popular. Insanity was a good group. Unfortunately, when they transitioned to the main roster, for some reason, they just didn't get utilized as a group, really. Nikki Cross didn't even make the jump with them. Instead, she stayed in NXT and became a key figure in the women's division and put together some really awesome matches.
Nice.
So, in the end, it kind of worked out better for her to, not get called up at that time. But I'm just glad she's not. I don't want to see her just be Alexa Bliss's bestie,
Yeah.
Nikki's got a lot of potential.
She does have a lot of potential, and I love her and Alexa together. I just don't want this to start some BS feud or something with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Just like in the next match, Asuka's defending the championship against Sasha Banks. I'd love to see Sasha hold the title. I mean, I absolutely think Asuka's a tremendous champion, but just for the dynamic of Bayley and Sasha, holding the top two titles is, in my opinion, a pretty good thing. Because I am so tired of all of these predictable turns and, when are they going to turn? When are they going to turn? Who's going to turn? Is it going to be Bayley or is it going to be Sasha? Why can't just people be friends? Why can't people just stay friends? I know, there's some people that keep calling for the New Day to break up. They're like, is this going to be the time the New Day breaks up? New Day can't stick around forever. You know what? Yes, they can. There's no reason for them to hate each other. Sure. Every once in a while, somebody goes for a singles title. Kofi was the champion. And did the New Day turn their back on him? No. They celebrated with him. They celebrated with their friend. Why can't we just have people that stay friends? Not every friendship needs to lead to a double cross.
How did Sasha and Bayley end up on separate shows?
Are they on separate shows?
Well, if Bayley's got the SmackDown and Sasha's going for the Raw.
Well, they're still, women's tag team champions, right? Old Bayley 2 belts?
I don't know.
Well, as far as I know, they're still the tag champions, so they can go wherever they want, I guess. Let's see. And hold on. Though Banks is a SmackDown wrestler, she and partner Bayley can appear on any show as the women's tag team champions is shared between Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. So yeah, her and Bayley can basically go wherever they want.
See, I thought that was they could go wherever they wanted as a tag team because there's only one women's tag belt. I didn't think they could, hey, I'm technically on SmackDown, but I'm going to go take this championship.
I'd like to say that there's, hard rules for this, but every time they announce rules for it, it's not much longer after that those rules are broken, or they're too convoluted to understand to begin with.
This is true.
And finally, on the card that what's been announced so far, Drew McIntyre is defending the WWE Championship against Dolph Ziggler in a to-be-determined match for the WWE Championship.
Yeah.
I mean, for, I guess, a show like this, Dolph Ziggler's a good place filler. I don't think anybody has any actual belief he's going to win. But, at least we know we're going to get a good match out of that. We'll break that down a little bit more next week. Before we get out of here, Anna, is there anything you want to plug, promote, or just talk about?
I don't think so. I think I'm good.
Okay, well then...
is there anything you want to plug, promote, or talk about?
I'm glad you asked, because if you enjoy the sound of my voice, you could always hear my other fine podcast here, SemicoreStudios.com, SemicorePods.com, BackstageSlam.com, TheWodcast.com, all sorts of .coms. Go to Facebook, like Semicore Studios, and you can get the latest and greatest on what's going on. Every Friday, I do a show at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific called The Wadcast. Writers, actors, directors, and every position in between when it comes to film and television production, we talk about making movies and TV shows and things like that. On the odd number episodes, it's just Brandon and myself being odd. On the even numbered episodes, we generally have a very special guest, and that is no exception as we hit episode 14 next Friday, or is it this Friday? It's the next Friday that is happening after this day. So in 6 days, we are going to have a very, very, very special guest. If you've been listening to the show, then you know that we have talked about things like Bad Agent, a short film, Relish, feature film. We talked to the director of that film a little while back, and this Friday, hold on, I want to make sure I have all. You know what? We'll do the official announcement on the Wadcast Facebook page. So WADCAST. Look for that on Facebook. Like it, and you will get the announcement of this week's very special guest, somebody that we mentioned quite a few times on the Wadcast. Every Monday, I do the Netflix. It's where I talk about everything coming to Netflix instant streaming in the U.S. Sorry, Canada. And, I try to help you out and give you an idea of what you should be watching with your Netflix account to kind of make the most of that experience. That's every Monday at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. It's kind of the thing with Semicore Studios, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific. And this Monday, we're going to have I'm going to have quite a few interesting suggestions for you to watch. But, of course, every Saturday, as it is right now, it's the Backstage Slam. Next week, episode 201, the Extreme Rules Horror Show predictions. So be sure to be here, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific, next Saturday, so we can talk about Extreme Rules. And you can join us in the chat room over at SemicorePods.com. But if you're one of those people that likes to, download the show and listen later, don't forget to rate, review, subscribe. But if you do want to get on the conversation anytime you want, look for the Yo Bro MMO Discord chat where we talk about wrestling and things fall off desks for no reason. But if you're feeling awfully generous, look for the Yo Bro MMO Patreon page for as little as $1 a month. $1. You can help make some dreams come true and get our studios a little bit more upgraded, and we can deliver more content for you. So if you like what we're doing and you want to throw a buck in the tip jar, by all means, look for YoBro MMO on Patreon. Whenever you see Ben online, you can check him out. Check his Twitter account out at YoBroMMO. That's right, Ben YoBroMMO on Twitter. Look for his Twitch page. Also, because he is a gamer, and he will be able to answer most of your questions about, things like New Japan and AEW. He is quite literally the expert. So make sure you follow Ben on Twitter, follow him on Twitch, and, tell him to get better, because we need him around here. He's got a brain full of knowledge that I need to siphon from every now and then. Miss you, buddy. Well, I guess with all... Oh, how could I forget? I'm doing a new thing called Film Freaks. It's essentially, we watch a movie, then we talk about a movie. Thursday night was the Night 1 premiere. Night 1, Episode 1. And it was all about Hamilton, Act 1. And tomorrow we're going to be watching and talking about Act 2. So, Film Freaks. If you want to know more about that, just follow me on Twitter. Follow at Semicore Studios on Twitter. Just do that for more information. I don't really have anything else left to say, so I guess the only thing left to say is...